Okay, so voice confessional thing. I have not been doing confessionals a lot because I've been busy with like bowling and shit, and yeah, it's I've been doing shit. I've been busy. I'm sorry. I haven't lived up to the hype I had in Maldives, where I literally just like raped confessionals with ginormousness. Okay, so basically haven't had a confessional since I was on a fucking swap tribe with Ian or I was swapped with Ian and Will. So, um, the next swap tribe after that was me, Gruff, Will, Danny, Echo, Frosty, and Rob. So, kind of as soon as we got in, Gruff kind of came to me and Will and kind of suggested a Danny vote after we'd lost the challenge, because it was like there was a big, what it seemed like was a lot of Gruff versus Frosty was going to go on, because the three main Perus of Gem, Gruff, and Carson had an alliance, and Frosty swapped tribe. If she had gone to tribal, she was dead, so she was very mad at Gruff for this, and she was going to target him. Gruff was going to do the same thing back, but Rob and Will both wanted Danny, and I wasn't going to go against it. And like after Gruff suggested it, I went along, and I didn't let Danny in on the vote just because not Danny. I didn't let Frosty in on the vote just because I wasn't 100% confident that she wouldn't tell Danny for some reason. I had no idea how close she was to anyone. I had plans to try and work with her because I was working with Ian in the safari, because that was the plan. We were from the swap tribe. We were just going to meet back up in Peru and then just like discuss once we got alone in Peru, which we ended up doing for the one round after the swap, which fucking it was a double tribal, so both us and Ian's tribe went to tribal. Fucking I think, am I retarded? Uh, yeah, okay, so that was the tribal that Danny went. And then Ian got fucking idled out and shit, and it was not no bueno. Just okay, I rambled off topic for a little bit there. So back to the Danny vote. So it was 4-3-1. The Frosty had a disadvantage, so she got one vote against her randomly. Echo, Danny, and Frosty all voted Gruff, and then me, Will, Rob, and Gruff all voted Danny off, and that went smoothly. Sadly, the other side of the tribal, which was a clusterfuck, which involved idols and playing the middle, and just generally an easy vote that went fucking sour. So basically, I'm gonna talk. We got first. We're not gonna talk about that because I didn't know about that until we merged. So I found out Ian went, which was like fucking what? Like, how the fuck did Ian go? Ian's a fucking god. So Ian's gone, which is like, oh fuck, cause I was like, my plan was meet at merge and just try and rule merge like we did in fucking Maldives. Just like we probably, honestly, my hope was to grab like Frosty or LSE, who Ian had said were close to both of them, and then try and just rule it like we did in Maldives. But that didn't work out because Ian got idled out. So, from what I've gathered, what happened was Carson, Jem, and Bryson were all generally working together, whereas Simon, Ian, Jet, and LSE were all working together. So, Simon, Jet, and Ian wanted to go after Carson. LSE did not, because LSE knew that Carson had an idol. I don't know if she told them that he had an idol, but I know she knew that he had an idol from what she's told me. So she tried to get the vote on Bryson because Bryson's social game wasn't nearly as good. They were trying to take out Carson because Carson was a much bigger threat. She tried to move the vote on to Bryson, which could have worked if Simon kind of from what I've gathered, Simon was dead set on Carson going, and then um, LC wanted to switch it to Bryson because she didn't want to risk that idol. The problem is she did get it onto Bryson, but she tried to get Jem in on the vote, and Jem ended up telling Carson, and Carson idled Bryson, and they have all voted Ian. And Ian got fucking idled out. So Simon blamed LSE because his immediate thought was, wow, she totally masterminded this. Jet had suspicions, but I tend to believe LSE was just trying to play. She was trying to not have everything be on fire, and she wanted to keep things calm for later. So when she hit merge, she didn't piss off three people. She could still work with said people, which is a good plan. And it's not like it's her. Like, yes, she had a fault that Ian went, but it's not like she was the mastermind and she's the only reason that Ian's gone. So, meh. So that's what I gathered from there. So I hit merge and I had like fucking nobody. I don't like I've got Rob, but Rob has played the middle the entire fucking game from like the Flack vote saying that he'd work with Flack, to the Derry vote saying yes to everyone, to the Sophie vote telling me that he would vote Sophie fine. He's played the middle completely. He's going to end up early jury because the dude is just going to play the middle. I don't trust him at all. At all. And sadly, we've been on the same tribe since day one, and people are just going to kind of pin us together because people are going to think that. Just like as soon as Echo and Danny had been on the same swap tribe since day one, I assumed they were working together, which they were. But anyway, so basically my plan, I kind of did the same, what my actual plan, what my plan with Ian there is, just without Ian. Um, I went after the people that I knew he had been working with and I knew had worked with him on the last swap tribe, which was Simon, LSE, Jet, and Will kind of got brought in as a, like, he was semi close to me, but I have no interest in going far with Will. I think the fact that he, like, everything was wrong with what he did to Sophie, and it really pisses me off what he did. Just because just everything was wrong with it. He made such a dumb decision out of nothing and completely screwed Sophie for no real reason. He sided with Simon, who, it's not like he had some special relation with Simon. He just kind of did it. It was really frustrating, and Sophie was fucking pissed. Anyway, so I ended up getting in an alliance, a good alliance with. So it was me, Will, Rob, LSE, Jet, and Simon, and we were going to try and that was going to be our main six. And with the first vote, we were going to try and target Carson. Well, we wanted to target one of the Perus. That's what we kind of tried to let, at least me and Will, much more, like, Will did it much more publicly than I did, but we definitely kind of spread the fact that, hey, the Perus are a trio, and we should probably be really wary of them because they're going to be working together 100%. That's dangerous. So basically, we decided to vote Carson just because we thought he was the most threatening, and since he had just played an idol, it was unlikely that he'd fucking have another idol. So we end up trying to vote Carson off. We get Frosty and Echo also to turn to Carson because it was easy. Like, basically, it was easiest to just have them swing towards the majority. But Bryson got brought into the Peruse plan, so they ended up. Jem had an idol, pulls an idol, and idols Carson, and 8 votes against Carson don't count, and they split the votes between Frosty and Simon. Frosty ended up idling herself. So Frosty got 1, Simon got 2, and Simon ended up going, which is like really bad, but not awful at the same time. Since me and Simon were never going to have a 100% relationship, just because I double crossed him on our OG tribe, and realistically, I think both of us knew that if it came down to it, we probably would double cross each other again, just because neither of us had really gotten over it. Like, I tried to take out Jim, Simon's greatest ally in the beginning, and Simon took out Sophie. There's a little bit too much there to look past. It's just, it wasn't going to happen. So that's not the end of the world. It kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. But what so basically my plan for now is something kind of unorthodox. I want something that's going to be really unexpected, which is working really closely with LSE. Just because we spent zero time on on any of the same swap tribe, we didn't meet till merge, so no one would really expect us to be ride or dies. But like, we're both fan favorites. We were both runner ups, and she's really cool. Like I mean, it's kind of annoying to only get to talk to her at like 2 a.m. But like, it works. But she's really cool, and we've talked a ton. We've worked on the safari together, and I don't think anyone would really expect us to work together. So I have a final two deal with her, and I'm trying to correct my mistakes that I did in Maldives. My biggest mistake was after votes against like the other side in Maldives, I just wouldn't talk to anyone else. I isolated Frosty, Sophie, and Maddie in my Maldives game just because they weren't specifically important to me and they weren't like I wasn't benefiting from talking to them. So I just didn't talk to them, and it really hurt me in Final Tribal Council because Cody kind of did the same thing, but had a relation with both Frosty and Maddie, which probably bought them the vote. Plus, his Final Tribal Council was better. That's something I really got to improve on. So, um, the plan, I don't even know what I'm going to do for this vote. Hopefully I can get the vote on Gem, because there's no way that Peru alliance is a third idol. I'd be fucking pissed if they do. So Frosty has expressed interest in going after Gem in the Perus, just because she's the one that's probably going to continuously run back to Carson and Gruff. She's the least likely to flip back, whereas someone like Gruff is probably very likely to flip towards us if his allies go down. So hopefully I can convince people to go after Gem, but I don't want to display my hand. I more want to go with the flow for these first couple of votes. So if people like want to go after Echo or something because Echo really doesn't have a social game, so be it. Like shit just happens. Like I think I've put myself in a good spot socially. I've talked to everyone except Bryson, but that's just because Bryson hasn't responded to me very much. But everyone else I've talked to at least a little bit. I haven't like just isolated anyone completely. Um, I've had good talks with Carson, Gruff. I had a good talk with Jem today. Jet I've been talking to good from the start of merge. LSE and I have been super fucking close. Frosty I'm trying to get closer to. She's just been busy lately, which kind of sucks, but like shit happens. But hopefully I can get close to her because I like Frosty a lot. She's cool and Frosty cool. I'm an idiot. So that would be good. I've also got a alliance with Frosty and LSE to explore the safari because back when Derry had announced that the third word was fire for some shrine, which he was lying about, Sophie had figured out that it was steam. Frosty found the same clue. So the third word steam. I just got the second word for mine, which is helpless. Now I don't trust Rob just because I think Rob is probably, like I said, he's playing the middle. He's probably the most likely to go to the Perus and be like, "Hey, this is who they're voting. You should idol this person." So I told Rob the second word was um, helpful. So he thinks that the second word is helpful and the third word is fire. So he has all of the words wrong right now, which is great for me, just because he thinks that I've given him extra information and will probably give me extra information, even though the information is completely false. Now, it kind of gets ruined if someone's told him the third word isn't fire, it's steam, but it's whatever. The goal was I did. No one else probably knows that the second word is helpless, other than me, LSE, and Frosty. So it shouldn't get back to Rob. That's my goal at least. If not, I can play it off like, oh, I just wrote the wrong, like, helpless, helpful. They're really similar. My phone could have autocorrected, blah, 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 blah. Just kind of bullshit my way through it. So that's the general plan for this vote. Um, get closer to Frosty. I'm really close to LSE. I kind of want to try and get Jet for a 4. I don't want Will. I don't want to get really close to Will or Rob. Rob because he's playing the middle. Will because Will. Will's a little bit of like he's very immature at times. It's very funny at times, and he's nice to be around. He's much fun. It's much more entertaining to spectate Will than it is to play with Will. Just he's hard to talk to. I just it's not that I don't like him. He's just hard to play with. So he is not in the the plan for the future. So hopefully I can take out Gem here just to break up those Perus. Then I probably like to take out a middleman like Rob, Will, or Echo or Bryson. Um, After that, I'm not sure. So for this challenge, I'm trying to win, but I don't know. This challenge is the scavenger hunt. I think I'm at like 20 something points now, which is like, I mean, it's not horrible. Um, I'll probably get more in the morning. I think I can get almost all of them. I think the kiddie pool is difficult and the skateboard's difficult just because I don't know where the fuck to get a skateboard. And the kiddie pool, the only way I can find a kiddie pool is if I go to like a pool club and like take a picture of it from a distance. But I don't know if that's acceptable. Also, the Jack and Jill DVD, which the fact that they didn't accept my just writing Jack and Jill on a unripped CD didn't work. They needed an actual title. Sucks, but so be it. Shit happens. So yeah, that's about it. This is probably a whole lot longer and a whole lot more rambly than I would have liked, but yeah. Also, this game is Soda Dungeon. I just kind of it's like an auto game that just it kind of plays itself. I don't know. It's fun to just fuck around with. Okay. Something something org. Bye.